So in problem 20-1, we're going to start talking about budgets. And so budgets are just hey, this is a plan that we're going to have for the next upcoming month, next upcoming quarter, next upcoming year, however we want to set it up. And so in this problem, we're going to specifically look at the manufacturing budget. And so that's kind of the core of most budgets. So the manufacturing budget, that one ended up rolling up into a bigger overall budget, combined with a sales budget, operating expense budget, stuff like that. But we're just going to focus on the core manufacturing part of it. And so what that's going to look like is we're going to do a production budget, which that's how we figure out, hey, how many units do we have to make? How much do we have in inventory already? How much are we going to sell? How much do we want to end inventory with? And once we know that, we can figure out what our direct material cost is going to be. And so we'll have our direct materials budget. Then we'll also have our direct labor budget. We'll feed off of that. And then we'll also have our factory overhead costs that will roll off that. So let's just jump into the problem. So we have Black Diamond Company produces snow skis. Each ski requires 2 pounds of carbon fiber. And the company predicts that it's going to have 5,000 skis and 6,000 pounds of carbon fiber in inventory as of June 30th. And so we're going to prepare the budget for the third quarter. So our beginning balance is the 5,000 skis and 6,000 pounds. So they expect for 150,000 skis to be sold during the third quarter. And each ski will be sold for $300. Management wants to end the third quarter with 3,500 skis and 4,000 pounds of carbon fiber. It also says that the cost of the carbon fiber is $15 a pound, and each ski requires a half hour of direct labor. We have a variable overhead rate that's going to be applied to $8 per direct labor hour, and total fixed overhead budget $1.782 million. So, all right, so we'll start with our production budget. And so we want to know what our budget ending inventory for skis is going to be. So that's what we want to end the third quarter with. So it tells us we want to end with 3,500 skis. Then we want to add our target sales to that. That's going to be 150,000. And so we know we're going to sell 150,000, plus we want to add 3,500 to that because that's what we want to end the quarter with. But then we have to subtract out what our beginning balance is, which is 5,000 skis. And so that tells us how many we need to actually make during the third quarter. So 148,500. And we have a little check figure right here. So we got that one right. So the next we want to do in number 2 is the direct materials budget. And so the direct materials budget, we want to start with materials needed for production. And so that's going to be the units that we're going to produce. And it says that it's going to be 2 pounds of carbon fiber for each set of skis. So 148,500 sets of skis times 2 pounds, which we need 297,000 pounds of carbon fiber. Next, we want to add the budgeted ending inventory. And so it says right here that we want to end with 4,000 pounds. We want to subtract out our ending inventory, which is 6,000. And so that means that we're going to need 295,000 pounds of carbon fiber, and the material cost of that is $15 per pound. So we're going to be spending $4,425,000 on carbon fiber for the third quarter. So the next one is the direct labor budget. And so the direct labor budget We want to start with the units that we're going to produce of 158,000 times how many hours it takes to produce that, and so that's going to be a half hour each. So that means we're going to need 74,250 hours, and then it tells us that we have an average wage of $20 an hour, so we're going to have a direct labor budget of $1,485,000. And then this last one over here is our factory overhead, and so the factory overhead is going to be allocated based on direct labor hours, which says right here. And so if we're going to allocate based on direct labor hours, plug in that 74,250 times the variable overhead rate. So we're going to apply that at a rate of $8 per hour. And so we're going to have variable overhead cost of $594,000, but it also says we have fixed overhead of $1,782 million. And so that's going to give us a budgeted overhead of $2.376 million. So budgets are really straightforward. They're very logical in what you're trying to do. You're trying to figure out, hey, what am I going to spend this next month, this next quarter? So budgets are really straightforward, nothing too complicated. So nothing too bad here.